What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday and Thursday, so come by and say hello. Well, we have the I guess I meant to say official post up for Modern and Wild. So it's finally coming, but I will say this, for those of you watching, for those of you who have been following along, listening to the town halls and are kind of up to speed with what Modern and Wild have to offer, the one thing that I was hoping that they would give us in this, they did not. And that is when this is going to be released. Now, we know from the most recent town hall that they are trying to shoot for earlier than end of July, early August. And if they're going to do this in between seasons, I would have to assume that it's going to be after this upcoming one, as we are winding down the last couple of hours in the current season. So that would probably be around July 15th. Now, I will say this. They have gone through and started implementing changes on their Tuesday maintenance windows, regardless of if it is in season or not. So there is a chance that we get to see this mid-season, which would be kind of weird. I will admit that. I think that I would be one to prefer it. Oddly enough, I wouldn't mind them extending it a little bit further if they were to do it on a season end or in between seasons, just because it's going to be such a jarring change. It's going to be a huge change to the game. So I think having it be part of a new season launch makes sense. But we are all still speculating here because that is the only thing that they did not give us. So if you're looking for that information, it's not here. I'm just giving you my speculation. And you could probably skip this video up after this point. But we're going to go through some of the details here on what they have confirmed for those who have not been following all along the Modern and Wild news. So this is the official post, came out today. For those who don't know, the Wild cards are going to be everything, whereas the Modern cards are going to be Chaos Legion, Dice, Untamed, and then the rewards cards for each of those. So it's going to be the one that has the cracked background and the one that I say looks like a fat Batman signal. And so once those will be part of it, and then once Rift Watchers come out, it will be included as well. Now, what is Modern format going to be? It is going to be a rolling set that you can use, or rolling format that you can use with different sets. So each, essentially each core edition, so Chaos Legion and Untamed, will have a mini edition, or what they're calling a child edition, I guess, and that is going to be Dice for Untamed, and then the upcoming Rift Watchers for Chaos Legion. Now, we do know, just a name, that Rebellion is the next core set that is set to come out once Chaos Legion sells out. At this point, we have no idea when that's going to happen, but they are planning potentially in Q1 of next year. I would like to think that it will come by at least at some point next year. And my thought process is that we probably won't see it until Q3 unless things really start to pick up. But I'm just kind of playing the more conservative role. But once Rebellion comes in, well, then Untamed, and I think Dice should probably rotate out with it as well, as we will get Rebellion, and then once Rebellion is out and they decide to do whatever the child or the mini edition is for Rebellion, we don't even know the name of that, but that will be what comes next and will be included. So right now there's going to be essentially 3 sets, right? 2 main or core sets, as well as the 1 child set, Dice, and then the associated rewards and promo cards, and then obviously we'll get a 4th one added in with Rift Watchers, and that will just continue to rotate out 3-4, 3-4. At least that is my understanding. So the promo cards that are going to be included are going to be Mighty Dricken, Halfling Alchemist, and Waka Spirit Blade, and then some of the, I guess it's not really listed here, but Chain Golem and Dr. Blight will be included as well. So why are they doing this? Well, we expect newer players will benefit from playing in the Modern format, as they won't have to compete against older cards, which may be difficult to acquire due to scarcity. Also, they are expensive AF, so that sucks. But if you're willing to spend on it, then you can. But now you don't have to. You can go and compete and be on the same playing field as many others. So hit me with all the gory details. I'm just going to run through this because I don't want to read it to you, but there are a couple things that I think are worth highlighting for those who may not be aware. So collection power is going to be halved. So you right now, if you just go look at what the collection powers are, you can essentially just take half of that, and that is going to be where we're at. So to play in Champion, you're only going to need 250k, which right now is the early part of, or the beginning of Diamond 3. So things are going to get a lot easier in terms of leveling up, but you do need to have the cards leveled up. So I may have like the power to play in Champion, but if I don't really have the cards, well, therein lies the problem, and I guess what everybody will need to be focusing on how they strategize. So your account will still only have a single collection power score, which is the sum of power of all individual cards in your collection. There will not be a separate collection power for each of the formats. There will be 2 DEC reward pools of roughly equal size. If you don't remember, they mentioned that they are going to add in another DEC pool. So essentially they are going to double the amount of DEC that is issued per day. And when we are at the peg, that is roughly 1 million DEC. So we're probably going to see closer to 2 million DEC, although there is some DEC being issued out as like LP rewards that has been directed in as well. So that's why they're saying roughly equal size. So we're going to see about 2 million if we're at peg. If we're below peg, which we currently are, we are going to see less proportionally to that. So we're probably seeing only about 600 to 700,000 DEC currently. Obviously, that's going to be doubled once Modern format is released. Now, here's the big thing, and I talked about it in a recent video for the Town Hall, but your ECR is going to be the same or combined for both Modern and Wild. So you will need to choose where you spend that precious energy. Now, you could spend it in whichever one, but it will be reduced, and so that is... I know people are going to be upset about that, but they got to find ways. Otherwise, these bots are just going to keep going back and forth. So here's the thing. A player's season reward chest tier will be based on the maximum league achieved in the previous season between Modern format and Wild format. So whatever the highest was you achieved, because you're essentially in 2 leagues now, or 2 formats. So whatever the highest one you achieve, no matter which format, is going to be what you are trying to earn in the next season on both formats as well. Now, when it comes to daily focus, if a player is in Bronze 2 in Modern and Silver 3 in Wild, they start with a fresh daily focus. Then the chest tier for the daily focus will be Silver. So this is going to be based on the current best league. So let's say, right, as they were giving the example, you have Bronze for Wild and Silver for Modern. It's going to end up being Silver for both. Rewards points earned in both Modern and Wild will contribute to a player's daily focus and season rewards, so that doesn't seem like it's changing, and it should probably be the same formula regardless. In order to earn the rewards points, you must be at least Bronze 3 in either the Modern or Wild format, so that seems pretty straightforward. Now, this is cool. I wasn't sure about this, but they are going to have separate leaderboard prizes for Modern and Wild. Thus, it is possible for a player to get high up the leaderboards for each and get 2 season prizes, one for Modern and one for Wild. Now, this makes sense because they're essentially 2 different leagues, but just the fact that we got confirmation that people can get double the prizes if you can land on both of them or place in the top, whatever it is you need to place for each of those leagues, that could be really interesting. I mean, that puts a lot more incentive on these end of season leaderboards. So champion points earned at the end of the season will be the sum of champion points earned for Wild and Modern. So if you can get into champion for both, then you're getting to double dip there, which I think is great. And then the end of season rating reset will continue to work as it does now, with the reset applied separately. So this is where it gets interesting, because now wherever you finish, you are going to start the next league. You're going to start the next season in that league. But wherever you got the highest, so like let's say you rent a bunch of cards for Modern, actually it doesn't even matter. Let's say you rent a bunch of cards for Modern format and you go all the way up to champion. You're earning champion level chests, and maybe you restart your next season in Diamond for Modern. But now if you want to play Wild, this is where it gets kind of wonky in my opinion, right? Because it's like you're kind of disincentivized from playing Wild, because if I never play Wild but I want to go in now, it makes it sound like I'm going to have to start from Bronze. If I didn't touch the account all of last season, then I'm going to start in Bronze, maybe even Novice, right? So that's my understanding of it, but maybe I'm not looking at it the right way. That being said, I do plan on spending most of my time in Modern format, so maybe it's not something I'll need to worry about. Maybe it's only for those who will be wanting to play in both. But I would say, if you have the cards for it, you're going to be playing in Wild because there's less players, less competition, and more prizes for you. And if you're a newer player like myself, and yes, I could still consider myself a new player, then you're probably going to be spending most of your time in Modern. I just cannot see myself like looking at the two buttons and being like, yeah, I think I'm going to do a Wild battle today and get spanked by all these alpha dragons, right? So that's just not what I'm signing up for. So I don't think it'll be as big of an issue, hopefully. But for those who do want to go back and forth, that will be something to consider. So I already mentioned Dr. Blight and Chain Golem will move. This is cool though. They'll be moved to the promo edition, so they'll count as modern cards, but they will give the standard 10% promo. Now people have been asking about this in the town hall for a while, so I'm glad that they're finally doing it. But the collection powers are going to remain the same. So challenge and practice battles will not support the modern format at launch. We may add this option later. That kind of sucks because I think the meta would be nice to have, especially for challenges, because I love doing challenges on live streams. So I really do hope that they add that in. And I don't know, it doesn't sound like they're planning to. It just sounds like it's an option. We made it add an option for later this year. So I'm going to throw my kind of support for this, publicly say that I think we should go for it. So if we can all be vocal, I would love to have it, because I think it makes the streaming and kind of the online interactive part a lot more fun, especially if we can go specifically with modern format. So likewise, all Brawl matches will be considered Wild battles, at least initially, and no changes to Brawl functionality will be made as part of this launch. Now, we do know that there is going to be some changes coming for Brawls. Again, nothing on the roadmap. It's all kind of unofficial from what they've said, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this added at some point in the future. Modern, I think, is going to be where a lot of the competition is held. So I think that it would be great for them to add that in. And on all game screens that show the player avatars, the avatar frame will be colored depending on the player's highest current league between Modern and Wild. The only exception is on the battle history screen, which will show avatar frames based on whether the screen is toggled to Modern or Wild data. One more thing, and this is what I love, and again, this is actually one of my takeaways from the town hall, is that tournaments will be launching for Modern and Wild style of play, which I think is awesome. So shout out to Weirdbeard or whoever made this happen. I think it's great that we're getting this right away, because now we can really experience what I was hoping we would experience last December. Yes, I know this is like 7 months late in my opinion, and I'm still whining about it, but I am hyped. And so I love this. I think that tournaments are super fun. There's a lot of awesome competition there, and we're going to get this right from the get-go. So that should be a lot of fun. I have been talking to, I shouldn't even mention this now, but Darkest Night and I have some ideas for tournaments. And so if you've been one of those people who are on the channel here and have been playing in the tournaments, I think that we got some fun things planned ahead, and I can't wait to share that. Now I sound like now I truly sound like a team member where I'm just like, man, we got some fun things planned for you guys, but can't talk about it. So I guess I've totally picked up on that. But we do want to run tournaments, and for those who have not been here, we've run tournaments in the past, but we have some ideas on how we want to do prizing and actually create more of an esports element around the folks that are here and come through and support this channel and the streams. So keep an eye out for that coming hopefully very soon, at least some trial options as we figure out what we want to do in the long run. Some important points to keep in mind, as with ranked play, Wild tournaments will allow you to use all cards. So, okay. This is the only thing I want to get from here. The Gladiator cards are special. They will count towards collection power entry requirements for both Modern and Wild tournaments that don't have specific restrictions, even if they are not allowed for tournament play. So call it a perk of being good at brawling and getting those Gladius packs and those Gladius cards. That, I think, is really it. So the exact launch date is set to be revealed at a later time. They are in QA testing right now. It has not opened up for MAV testing yet, so I would assume we'd get at least a week, maybe a couple days of MAV testing before it went live. But like I said, I'm expecting there to be a full season before this happens. So hopefully we get a roughly or tentative July 15th launch is what I'm thinking in my mind. But again, that is me, not what they have announced. And so that is really, that's really it. They added some API stuff for third-party developers, but this stuff goes straight over my head. So I just want to call it out here in case you are somebody that is interested in API integration and all that fun stuff. So this is the official post. If you want any more details, or you want to dig into it further, then feel free to do that. but I'm hyped, guys. I'm hyped. I'm really hoping that we get this in 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks that I ever have to see Ulrich and Valnamore. And oh gosh, I can't wait. We're going to celebrate. Once Modern comes out, I'm just going to get on. I think we're going to have a stream and I'm just going to trash all the cards. I'm going to be throwing so much shade and just laughing at all the cards that I absolutely hate in wild format and that I'll never ever have to see again. Except in tournaments and except in brawls, unfortunately, but still not in my ranked battles over my... All right, we're getting too crazy with this. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions or comments or whatever it is, let me know in the comment section below. We can continue the conversation there. I will catch you all in the next video, and I will see you around the game. Take care.